And we're live. Welcome to Follow Everton. I'm hoping this time you can hear me clearly as we react to Everton's draw away at Brentford. John, I've got to say I did a 4-minute video just before there and forgot to turn the microphone on. So we're starting again. You wouldn't have heard anything I said. But I'll be honest with you, John, I'm really quite frustrated. 4 games in a row in the league without winning. I can't say I'm surprised. Brentford were the better team by far. I'm not going to sit and say that we deserve to win. We didn't deserve to win. Brentford got what they deserved for their persistence and their perseverance. And ultimately, it's infuriating, isn't it, John? It was a set piece, a stupid set piece. You see it. You can see our back line all stood as statues in a line, and then you've got Gordon and Iwobi not picking anyone up, and it was just cheap. And that's the fine margins that we've got to be on the right side of if we want to win games in this at this level.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to know how to feel really because obviously we were leading 1-0. Very good goal that we scored as well, and it's nice to see Gordon on the score sheet. And obviously we're leading for so long, and it gets to the 80th minute where realistically, with the players we have and the experience that we have, we should be able to see out the game from there. Obviously, we didn't do that, and we conceded from another set piece, which I think in the opening 3 games we've actually defended much better, but the defending from that piece, that corner, was shocking, really. Iwobi was sort of just stood there. There was no one, I'm not just picking on Iwobi, but no one was watching the other players or the movement. They were all watching the other players and looking forward when no one's tracking the man, and then it's a free shot for them. So very disappointing that we aren't able to get the win and what would have been our first win of the season. I think that's our first time that we haven't won a game in the opening 4 in about 4 decades now. And it's very frustrating that we weren't able to see the game out. Obviously, they could have battered us that game maybe 5-1 or something. They had a
Yeah,
lot of chances, obviously hit the post 3 times or the bar. So it's a bit difficult to know how to feel, but frustrating we couldn't see it out.
part of me is quite relieved we got a point. At least we didn't lose. I mean, I've seen us lose those types of games. Obviously, last season we lost to Brentford twice. I'm not going to sit on here and be overly positive, but I will tell you what I did like. The first half, we did carry a threat away from home. The diagonal ball, obviously, and the ball in behind was proving to be a good weapon in our arsenal of very few weapons. But really, the Gordon finish, he took it early, and we looked like we were in a good position to take other chances. Really, given
Yeah, I
Brentford.
think that, as you said, the diagonal ball that came in was superb. And if we actually had Mope in and he was able to play for this match, which obviously he'll be able to next match, but if we had a striker or a recognised forward there, then after that diagonal ball is played and we've ripped their defence open, then if we can just put that cross in to someone in the box, then I think we could have actually gone on to score quite a few more. Obviously, we didn't have that option today, but hopefully there are some positive things to look forward to going forward. But I think in the past, defensively, we've been very sound, and it's just our forward ability that has been lacking us. Whereas today, it was more the opposite, and we actually looked a decent threat going forward, but it was the defence which really let us down there. A lot of simple errors that we've seen last season. For example, a lot of things Michael Keane did last season cost us severely. But even with players like Tarkowski and Connor Cody, who again are supposed to be these more experienced players and help out the younger, less experienced players, today I think they had a very bad performance in the first half, and it was almost as if no one wanted to clear the ball. Everyone was expecting someone else to do it, and we're lucky they didn't capitalise on that. Having said that, in the second half, I think they did step it up, and we looked better defensively. It was just the set piece which let us down in the end.
I mean, I don't know how people are going to react watching this back, maybe in a couple of hours when they've calmed down a little bit. Obviously, we're coming off the back of the game, and it is very emotional. We have to say it as we see it. I'm not going to come on here and say that Brentford weren't the better team than us on the balance of play. They deserved at least a point. They hit the woodwork several times, and they caused us all sorts of problems through the lines. I think in the first half, you could say arguably we were the better team, maybe. But on the balance of play, Brentford definitely deserved at least a point, possibly all 3, because of the amount of chances they created. Touch on a few of them there, John, but there was an overhead kick, for example. Pickford was underneath it. It comes off the bar and into his hands. several corners that they were taking short, and for some reason we allowed that to happen, and dangerous balls into the box, making nice angles out wide and then pulling it across. They were doing it quite a lot. They were just very, very threatening, and we were all over the shop at times, weren't we, John, defensively? And we were lucky to get away with it in the end. I think we'd accepted that we probably were going to concede because they had chance after chance after chance.
Looking on the balance of things, I am happy that we've got a point. Obviously, you said that we lost to them last season twice. Obviously, we were ahead, so it's frustrating to let that go. But I think on the balance of things, if you look at the amount of chances they had, and we had a good few chances as well, but I think it's good that we got the point. However, man of the match today for us was 100% luck, because without that, we were let off the hook so many times, and it really could have been an absolute demolishing from Brentford for us. And I think we have got away with it there. So I think overall, looking back, a point is a decent result, but it's just frustrating that it's another set piece and another error that we could have easily got rid of if we were just marking the players' runs. It's too easy to let them in through the back like that and an easy tap in. So I think on the balance, a point is decent, but again, we should be cutting out that kind of error.
I think in isolation, you'd take a point before the game, but it's the fact of the matter is we're on a winless run. We don't have an awful lot of threat. There were chances today for Everton, few and far between, but the ones we did get, like the Damari Gray through ball in the second half that Onana slipped him through, if he just does a similar action that Anthony Gordon does and takes one touch maybe wider and slots it across, we're talking about a 2-0 win there. I think we would have seen it out. The thing that frustrated me was when we got the goal, up until the goal, I felt we were probably the better team. I felt like we had a little bit more of the threat. We were frustrating Brentford. We were doing well. We were a little bit safe at times, but the threat we carried was there. And I think it was probably the best attacking performance of the season up until the goal. And then when we conceded, everyone's dropping very deep. The back line is 10 yards deeper. It becomes a 5-4-1. It becomes difficult to get a hold of Brentford and their movement and their good runs. I didn't think we dealt with the balls into the box that convincingly. There were times, particularly Connor Cody. I remember one diving header straight to Brentford player who could have slotted it through. And then another thing, Frank Lampard's substitutions were very strange. The one where he brought Michael Keane on instead of Seamus Coleman, or changing the system. He's an uncomfortable player at centre half, never mind right-sided centre-back, playing a lot in the right channel. Strange substitution at a time.
I think also, I was going to mention on the substitutions, we had the players ready to come on before hi Dan, you right?
Sorry.
Anyway,
I was on my phone there.
We had Lampard lined up our substitutions to come on before we had conceded. And then after we concede, he brings the same players on. Surely you have to think to yourself that after we concede, the game plan has to change a bit there. So to bring on the same subs that you were going to at a different scoreline, that's a bit questionable as well.
I don't think with the wrong subs, though, those two. I don't have any problem with Ruben Vinagre and Rondon coming on. I think Vinagre's got a little bit more about him as an attacking left back. And I think Rondon, we probably needed just a striker on the pitch or fresh legs because they were knackered. And this is why we need a squad full of players, because we've got players like Gordon and Gray and McNeil. They haven't got that high level stamina of your other players. You have to have options there to bring on. And I think we had to do that. The substitution that annoyed me was the Michael Keane one. I would have put Coleman on. I would have not, because we're dropping deeper and deeper, inviting them on. We weren't convincing. Dan, you look fed up, mate. I'm not surprised. You got your hopes up for a win. You're probably bouncing around the room. We weren't that good. And then,
No, I wasn't bouncing around the room. I don't see how you think I was bouncing around the room when they're hitting the post and frigging look like they're going to score for about 45 minutes of the second half. I wasn't bouncing around the room. I was frustrated because I feel like Lampard lost us the game. Again. Like, generally, I know I might get crap for calling out Lampard, but the substitutions are awful. If your team's hurting, you've got to react. Everton, we could not pass the ball. We could not get out. As soon as we was playing amazing, as soon as they scored, we all sat back and we said, right, we're going to all sit back behind the ball. You can do what you want. You can come at us the whole game. What's the point on that? Because they're going to score if you do that. That's ridiculous. Like, generally, his tactics was awful. When he brought Holgate off, he should have gone for a back four and put an extra midfielder up and played one attacker. That's what he should have done. He should have when he come off, he should have gone to the back four with Mikalenko, Tarkowski, Cody, and Patterson. And then what he should have done is he should have put Vinagre on the left as a wing back to help the left back. And then he should have put Coleman on the right to help the right back. He should have played Davis, Onana, and Iwobi, and should have played with one striker so we could actually get on the ball, pass the ball, and see the game out. That's how you see the 1-0 out, by passing the ball, keeping the ball. But all we did was just pass the ball back to him, pass the ball back to him, pass the ball back to him. How easy must it be for a team to come back and get the draw, for us just to give them the ball back?
Easy to defend against us. And also the thing that winds me up about this 5 at the back is you've got one less player in the forward positions, one less player in midfield to press, one less player to block the pass off, one less player to be forward in support. And a lot of the time, I said up until the goal, we were fine. But after that, and certainly in that second half, nothing stuck up front. We couldn't build any momentum. We couldn't prevent the onslaught of Brentford. And
he didn't do anything. Why does he not do anything, though? Why do you see your players struggle? Why do you see the ball hit the post? The ball hit the post, and you can see a goal going in. You keep it the same if it looks like we're okay. We wasn't okay, so Lampard needs to come in and react, and he needs to change it. Like, seriously, he needed to change it, and he would have helped the team. He left the team out to. Oh, it's just so frustrating. That was
with you. I would come on here, and someone else would come on after me, and John's more of a positive person. You're a positive person. I thought you two were going to say, Ryan, shut up. We got away with the point, and we did okay. But are we actually going to accept here that this Everton team isn't that good, and we're not? No,
it's the way he sets them up as well, though. The team was good enough to win. It's the way he sets them up.
We're not going to be delusional here and say that we are any better than last season. The teams around us recruit better than us. We're being overtaken by the likes of Brentford and even Fulham and all of them. I think Bournemouth are the only team that are going to be a dead cert to get into that bottom 3. And I think it's...
Well, you say that. Their start, they've actually got, I think, 4 points, but 2 of their games was very hard opponents as well. So even that's not a dead set. But you mentioned the 5 at the back as well. There was a point in the game where Tarkowski went up and he had a half chance to score a goal. And then all of a sudden they're on the counter and it was a 3-on-1 against us. So how do you play a 5 at the back and we still only got 1 defender? And again, there are just times where we've been very lucky to get away with it.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, I thought Brentford were going to score. I thought it was our own set piece. And there's 5 of them running at one of them. It's embarrassing.
Why is he took Onana off when they look like they're going to score from a set piece? Why have you took Onana off?
I think it was stamina.
He was looking fine. His stamina was fine. The person that was struggling was Gray. He looked like he couldn't get back anymore. His legs was going from the last games. He played well. McNeil looked like he was struggling massively. He should have loads of energy closing them down. He wasn't. That's 2 players that are doing nothing.
So I think McNeil is actually one of our worst signings that we've made. He's actually so lost in the middle, in going forward everywhere. Really, it's not like another player where he comes back. Gordon is up there going forward, and he also helps out in defence. Iwobi goes forward, comes back and helps in defence. McNeil does not do either.
What a joke!
He's nowhere.
You can't sell Gordon because we'll be in the absolute shit. I agree. I said about McNeil when we signed him, he's so left-footed. He doesn't score. He doesn't assist. And you've signed a one-trick pony left winger in a team that needs goals. And
he doesn't know his last from his elbow.
But I'm not going to slaughter him because he's got a lot more time. He could get better. It's very early days. Players do change. They do improve.
I feel like a lot of players did a lot of good things. I just feel like it was mismanaged. I generally do.
This 5 at the back thing, I'm going to say one thing.
It worked at first.
We've got Jeff waiting to come in a sec. Okay. This 5 at the back, we've signed Connor Cody, who can only play in a 5. And for me, James Tarkowski can only play in a 4. He's not going to... I don't know why we've signed a player like Tarkowski to stick him basically as a player who's going to basically spend most of his time running to cover space from a left wing back or the left side of defence very tight. Doesn't make any sense to me. He was good at Burnley when he was heading the ball away, when he was engaging with the centre halves, when he was the focal point in the middle, and I don't think we're going to get the best out of him. But whatever you say about the one thing today's game is, we did have a couple of chances. The Damari Gray one he should score. Gordon took his goal well. Brentford were all over us, and it was inevitable they were going to score. And the set piece was a shambles. I'm going to very quickly go to the comments, if that's okay, and then I'm going to swap positions with Jeff here, and John. Obviously, when Yandalf comes in, or before then, if you can swap places. But I'm going to look at the comments quickly straight away and feed them back through to you guys. Will is saying we invited them into the game, second half at 4. You can't argue with that, can you? We sat back, we dropped deeper, John. We let
this is what you said though, Ryan. We looked good in that formation at the start because the wing backs was pushing up. The moment they scored, they said to the wing backs, "Don't push up anymore." And if you do that, that formation goes crap.
I actually want to disagree with that just briefly. I think the first half, apart from the goal, we were actually more defensively poor. We had that diagonal ball coming in and we looked like a threat. And there were some chances that we didn't take, which inevitably, if we did, then we could have actually seen the game out and got 3 points. And obviously, they hit the post twice and the bar once. But when luck's on your side, it's just one of those things. And we actually could have gone on to win the game had we taken our chances. I think the first half defensively, though, we were pretty poor. And Frank Lampard must have gone in. It'd be interesting to hear what he says, but I think he must have gone in and really kicked them up the arse for that. I think the second half, we actually came out and we were looking better until it got to the 80th minute. And I think we just lost our heads then. The defence from the corner was very, very poor and we should have marked the man. And from there, we just sat so deep that we were just inviting them in. But I think until we had got to that point, I think we actually had a better second half performance defensively than we did in the first.
I'm whizzing through these comments before I drop out. But what I would say, John, I mean, you've talked about a few things there with the defence. We've got experienced defenders. You've got 3 29-year-old England international centre-backs in the team, in Michael Keane, Conor Cody and James Tarkowski. There's no excuse for not seeing that game out and showing some authority and leadership. To be honest with you, I don't think it's a natural formation. I don't like the 5-4-1 when it's a defensive formation because you can't press. You get overrun in midfield. You get played around out wide. I don't like it. I really don't like it. I'm going to I think it's good if you go forward with it and you've got the wing backs high.
Yeah, that's why it was good. If they go forward, there was forward with it at the start.
It's a bad defensive formation for us at the moment. Mark's saying, how have we got a draw from that? Matty is saying our defensive set pieces have improved, but then we go and defend like that for the goal. Wanderlust is saying the timing of the equaliser probably adds to disappointment. Jason is saying we're leaving Pickford exposed. He's also saying Conor Cody and James need to take control at the back. That's what we've just said there.
Yeah.
You're talking about leaders, 3 England sort of players in and around the squad, and none of them can show that level of leadership or control or organising them for that corner. I know there's people who are going to actually be thinking, what are we 3 talking about? Why are we being so negative? We've gone away from home. We've got a point. So I'm assuming Jeff's going to come in and give us a completely different view on this.
Yeah, but the thing is, even positive people ain't deluded. Like generally, that was just not good enough.
No, I will say what I see. I'm not being negative. I'm saying what I see. We threw away with a cheap set piece. We dropped too deep. Brentford were all over us, and we had no answers. And we probably should have changed the shape.
Yeah, we should have.
I would have liked us to release Onana from this kind of conservative sort of jogging around the pitch midfield position and brought in Tom Davis and said, "Oh no, go and do your stuff. Go and carry us."
Should have put 3 in midfield. Should have put Davis in with Onana Nwobi to help him out.
I think overall, to summarise it, it's just very disappointing. Obviously, we did go ahead 1-0 and we could have seen it out because we could have taken a few extra chances. But having a look on the flip side, they were all over us for a good portion. And to hit the post twice and the ball once, and to get away with these defensive errors, I think we are very lucky to come away with a point. Yes, we could have won. Yes, we could have drawn, and we did. But we also could have got battered and lost. So I think it's just one of those games where it was very back and forth. And I think overall, a draw is probably a decent result we've come away with.
John, who have we played so far this season? We played Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, who've just come up, Brentford, who are kind of the lower echelons of the league. And who was the other team? I can't even remember now. Villa.
Villa.
You know, we 3 of them are winnable games, and even Chelsea at home we beat last season.
They are, but I think, again, Chelsea, okay, I'm not too bothered about that, but we looked defensively sharp and we conceded a penalty. Villa, we didn't score a goal. It was Luka Dean that scored an own goal. And we really hadn't found our scoring form. Again, Notts Forest, we went 1-0 down and we were lucky to come back with a goal there. And then today's game, obviously, we went ahead and we looked kind of sharp up front. I think going forward, it's been our best striking game of the season so far, but probably defensively the worst. If we had carried over the form of the defensive capabilities that we had in the previous 3 games and then kept the striking ability that we showed in this game, I think we could have easily come away with a win. But I think our defence is really what left us down today. So
we weren't good going forward in the second half, John. We didn't create anything, really.
We had chances, but we just didn't take them. Obviously, the Gray chance, Tarkowski had a half chance. And you know what? If we can defensively set up shop, you only need 1 or 2. But it's just those simple errors.
So, where was the tactical? I'm bringing in Jeff in a moment. I know you're waiting there, Jeff. I am sorry about this. But I want you to listen to the stream. Obviously, I didn't want to just say coming out the cold, so you know what we're talking about. Where's the tactical awareness? You saw Onana play a really nice through ball in behind, given time and space. Why are we not encouraging that kind of play from someone like Onana, who can clearly make the pass? And you've clearly got, I'm not going to talk about Monreal, he's being slaughtered in the comments, people saying he's dross, etc. Say that for now. But in Gordon and Gray, you've got pace in behind, you've got runners. Why are we not utilising that? You've seen that for the goal last week with Pickford's assist. You've seen that with the goal today, with this for the Gordon one. You've seen that areas there. That is our strong point at the moment. The runners in behind them too. Let's utilise that a bit more. I'm just going to whiz through some of the comments up to the point now where Jeff's coming in. Raymond saying we were fucked. They parked the box. We parked in our box for the whole second half.
Yep, it's our own fault.
Robbie hates the 5 at the back. He says the zonal shite as well. And Jason says we've got the worst scouts. MH is saying even most average Annan managers don't have a plan B, but Lampard doesn't have a plan A. That's a very, very strong statement. And he says good luck with Mopé. I think he rejected a new contract. Rose, a friend of the channel, fellow YouTuber, she says Onana going off, and they were all over us. I think that was a
100%. I said that to you. I said why take him off, and why not add a centre midfielder with Onana and Iwobi.
But remember, boys, we are still playing without that striker. Mopé we signed now, and he will be playing next game. I mean, I would assume so. But he's available to play. So again, we knew we were going to struggle without a striker.
It was nothing to do with the strikers today, though.
I know it's 3 games. That,
yeah, just one thing though. I mean, we had to win to.
He's froze, honey.
Yeah,
look at him, he's froze. What a picture there. Look at his face. Oh,
I was going to say our past. Oh, he's dropped out. I was going to say our past 3 games we've been playing without a striker, and you did say that it wasn't the striker that left us out today, but we had that diagonal ball coming in, and that looked very threatening, and that was our chance to score. And obviously, Gray missed his chance. But if we had a recognised striker in the middle, these diagonal balls, if all we'd have to do is put a cross in, and then we'd be able to grab another goal. So I think again we are playing without that striker, and that could be a big difference coming forward. So again, obviously it's disappointing we haven't won a game yet, but to be able to get the point here and the point against Forest where we came back from it, then if we have a striker in and we cut out the mistakes, then there is potential within this squad.
Yeah, I just feel that it wasn't.
You muted, Ryan.
I'm dropping out.
Go for it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
38 draws and we'll stay up. Oh, what's happened to him? 38 draws and we'll stay up. Has John gone?
Don't know.
Well, I'm dropping out. I don't know why. I don't know why he's gone.
It's just going to be me left now.
And we'll stay up. But I can't remember what the point was. I'm bringing in Jeff now. Jeff.
Someone said Ryan frozen like your fucking team.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, gents.
I'm dropping out. I'm telling you where we're up to in the comments. I'm going to work. I'm going to a wedding. I'm going to get my suit on, go and entertain 100 people. So you all have fun talking about this if you can. We're up to the comment from Everton Rose. The first 2 comments. I don't know if you can see them, Jeff. Obviously, I know you're logged in as a host, so you should be able to monitor that.
Okay.
I'm assuming So if you can click on one of the comments now and it comes up, then you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Well, guys,
Okay.
that's all from me. I'm going to leave you with Jeff and Dan for now. I believe Yandalf is going to come on. Take the point and run, I say, and move on quickly. I think in a couple of hours, we might look back at this and think, thank God we got something out that game, because we probably were overrun and could have easily lost on another day. So let's take the point. I'm going to hand you over to the very lovely and capable Jeff. Dan, I'll speak to you soon. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Have a good wedding, mate. Have a good wedding.
Thank you.
Cheers, Kev. Okay, next question. Please, please, please tell me you cashed out.
No, I didn't.
Oh God, no, man.
No, I didn't. It wasn't as much as I thought. It wasn't as much as I thought. It was a 310 cash out to win 570.
Oh, mate.
I thought I was going to do it.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry.
I thought I was going to do it. I really did. But I am absolutely fuming. Like, generally, not even with the bet, mate, because the bet, fair enough, yeah, whatever. It was a £5 free bet. I can control. I don't really get too, like, thingy stress with betting, because otherwise I wouldn't do it. Do you know what I mean? Basically. But I'm fuming with Lampard. I really am. I'm not saying, like, frigging Lampard out. Well, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm absolutely fuming with Lampard. Jeff, where are you at with this? Surely you can't be positive after that, because Lampard lost us that game.
I don't.
Let me just put this to you, Jeff. When Holgate gets injured, right, we go to a 4 at the back, because the 5 wasn't working. The 5 was working massively first half when the wing backs was sky high. It worked. We looked attacking. That was our attacking threat. The wing backs high. The moment they scored, our wing-backs was told to not go anywhere. You've then lost a left winger or a right winger, and you've got 5 in defence, and they can completely do what they want. So when Holgate gets injured and they look like they're going to score, and they did look like they was going to score, because we wasn't having no possession whatsoever, why has Lampard not changed us to a 4 at the back, gone Mikalenko, Tarkowski, Cody, and Patterson, and then in front of them brought on Coleman as right wing back to help Patterson, because he was struggling down that side, and then brought Vinagre on left wing back to help down that side, put Davis on with Onana and Iwobi, and then just played Anthony Gordon up top, solid things up, and said, get on the ball, because the only way that you can keep that 1-0 is if you start passing the ball, see the game out, and move the ball to their half. Because all we did, that must have been so easy for them to come back, because all we did is put all of our players behind the ball, let them have the ball and say, right, can you score? And they just kept doing it and doing it and doing it, and you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. Lampard could have stopped that. If you see your team hurting, you look after your team. If you see your team hurting, you do what you can to save them. That's your job as a manager. You say, right, I'm going to make your job easier. He could see that a goal was going. He could see they were struggling. He could see players were shattered. I didn't even get the move, Jeff, with Onana swap for when the 2 were struggling in the centre. Why he just swapped Onana for Thingy when Onana's the tallest player we've got on the pitch? Come on, Jeff. Come on, hit me. What? This wasn't good, was it, by Lampard? It really wasn't.
No, it is difficult, because, like, I don't. Yeah,
even you, Jeff, are not going to be happy with that. I know you know your football. That was wrong.
It's a struggle, because to me, the watching that today, I mean, it was a struggle because the stream was rubbish, but like the defense, it's not working as a 3 at the back. It's not. It doesn't work. I think that Tarkowski is kind of being hung out to dry, because he's out of position a lot of times, and then obviously Cody's running around putting out fires, and I think it's one of those situations where we're still not used to this system, and there isn't an instinctive level to what we're doing. We don't all know exactly what we're doing at all times. So when it goes wrong, I think there's confusion among the back line. You know, who's got who, which man is yours, which, you know, are you coming or are you staying? And you can put two arguments to this. You can say, well, look, if it's not working, change it and go back to a flat back four. The players are familiar with it. That's what we should be doing. And you can argue that that's a short-term view. And you could say that he's trying to stick with the formation because the more we play it, the more familiar we'll get with it. But at the same time, if we're not getting the results, it puts pressure on everything, because if you're stubbornly, to use your word, sticking to something that isn't working because that's what your plan is, you're bound to come in for criticism, especially when things go wrong. Now, the match today, it's one of those where we could have easily lost that game by 3 or 4 goals. Realistically, we could have lost by 3 or 4 goals. We were really lucky, to be honest, that we went in at half time a goal up. And I expected a better response in the second half, and the second half was dreadful. I'm not going to defend it. The first half, we played really good in patches going forward, especially. We looked decent. I thought Onana looked good, but the second half it just went to crap. It did go to crap.
Everton being Everton,
and inevitably they were going to score. Although the manner in which they scored was, I mean, that defending, like he was literally on his own in the 6-yard box with no one within like 3 yards of him to just slot it, and it was just like,
why is the why on set pieces are we making a back line so deep on the goalkeeper? Why don't we bring that back line high?
Yeah.
Like,
and again, like I said, that's
basic, guys.
Again, there's a few things about it where you can sort of say, we're not familiar with the system, we're making mistakes, we're learning, we're trying to get better at it, and you can sort of defend it in terms of saying that, like, until we get really good and familiar with the system, we're going to keep making mistakes. But at the same time, when it's costing you goals and it's costing you points, it's hard to defend it. So
the system for me, Jeff, was bang on the first half because Patterson and Mikalenko was really high up, and Mikalenko looked like he was going to get in a couple of times, and we looked really good. We was getting on the ball, we was having possession, the system looked good. And then as soon as they scored, Jeff, we sat back and thought we're going to try and win this 1-0. You should never do that. Everton being Everton, there was like, right, let's try and defend this 1-0. So you're saying to yourself, when did they score? For like 60 minutes, you're going to sit back and try and defend the game 1-0 when we looked like we was on top the first half and we was creating good chances. So we decided, Lampard decided to let our players all sit back behind the ball, sit deep, let balls come into the box, not have a high line.
I wouldn't say, and this is where I would defend Lampard.
He's got to tell him though, hasn't he, Jeff? He's got to say.
The idea that he is letting that happen isn't the case, because
he can tell him what to do.
Going nuts. Yeah, but you can see him on the sideline going nuts, and he's shouting at them to do things. So it's down to the players more than him, because if they were doing their jobs properly, then we would have been defending better. So they clearly weren't following the instructions.
But a formation would. I'm just going to keep going to you, Jeff, because you got points. We'll keep back, like, feeding off each other. A formation would have made their job easier. That back five was making their job harder. Yes, he's shouting at them, but a formation would have made their job a lot easier. I actually generally think the formation worked the first half, but the moment that we're 1-0 up, you go to a back four, you play 5 in midfield to make it compact, you get on the ball, and you just put Anthony Gordon up top. That's what I would have done. It was just so simple.
Yes, I know. But then, like I said, that's a case of...
that's doing what you've got to do to win the game. You don't need to have this thing in your head, I need to win the game this way. Lampard, I'm going to win the game this way.
And that's the standard thing is, if it's not working, change it.
Yeah. Those subs that was coming on, Jeff, was late.
And I absolutely agree. But it's one of those situations where, with the substitutions,
they were late, weren't they?
He took Onana off because he was knackered. He was.
I thought the attackers was a lot more knackered than him, Jeff, because Gray couldn't get back. He was starting,
but he's like the one that you don't want to risk because
he was good. Onana was the one that looked like he was.
No, I know, but
best one.
Like I said, he's literally come and he played the full game in midweek. After making his debut, like not long before that, he's literally just coming into the country and just getting fitness. And we've got a game on Tuesday as well. And that's the other thing is we've got a game on Tuesday. And that's a problem because,
he's
some
6'5". You don't take a 6'5" player off when we look like we're going to score from set pieces.
Yeah, but it's not a case.
And they look like they're going to score from set pieces.
If you're thinking he's in danger of being injured, we can't afford to lose him. We can't afford to lose him, and we've got a game on Tuesday. So I'm not particularly gonna criticize the substitutions.
I just
because
think I
don't understand the fitness of the squad. Certain players have arrived late, etc. So it's always going to be difficult in that case.
Do you think Coleman should have come on? Because I feel like Coleman could have got on the ball with his experience and got us pinging it about, because we just needed to pass the ball and we couldn't get passing the ball.
Yeah, like I said, it's one of those where it's easy to second guess the manager because we don't know enough about the condition of the players. The mentality of the players and all the rest of it. And in the post-match, this is the one thing I'm always cautious about losing my shit during a post-match because people tend to get hot-headed, tend to get emotional, and tend to get really ratchety about stuff. And it's like, I would have done this, and I would have done this, and I would have done this. And it's like, well, yeah, okay. I understand that, we would have all made the decisions based on what we personally think, but we aren't sat in the dugout. We're not privy to all of the information, so we're basing opinions on what we think Lampard should have done, based on what we think the players were capable of. What instructions they've received, whether they're actually up. Do you
feel we're making excuses for him?
No, I just think that, like, if you look at, like I said, I'll use the example of Arteta at Arsenal. He stuck to his guns and he lost matches because he was insisting on us playing a certain specific way. On Arsenal playing a certain specific way, and players following instructions, and he knew that was going to give him stick, but he had to stick to his guns because he knew that in the long term, that once he got every piece in place and once he got all of his own players in and then playing in their best sort of in to their best level or whatever, that it would pay off eventually. And we're in a massive rebuild, and this is the thing where I will allow latitude, even when I'm annoyed by a result or a performance or whatever, is if he's got a plan and he's trying to stick to that plan, he's trying to stick to the system, he's trying to get us to play a certain way. Players aren't always going to perform to the level that we want them to. They're going to make mistakes and whatever. But the more they play in a specific way and the more they get comfortable in it, the better we get at it. And the more consistent we'll get at it, and then the results will come. But in the meantime, we've swapped about 7 players out. We've brought 7 players in. We've got another 3 or 4 players coming in the next couple of days. And fitness and all the rest of it, and bedding them all in together and getting them all familiar. It's going to take time. It is a project. So it's annoying. I'm not happy with the result because, like, we could have just gone old school 4-4-2 and shut the thing down and got the result.
100%.
And I understand that point of view, but then I also understand the other point of view. So that's what I'm saying is,
he's got to win games, though.
I know.
At this point, though, Jeff, do you know, like, when we play like the five worked at the back at the start because it was a free and the wing backs was up.
yeah,
right?
but.
Listen to this, right?
Sorry, Bobby.
Why would he? When he's watching it, this is simple. This is not just saying give him time, part. This is just saying it's common bloody sense. Why would you let us play 5 deep defenders and then be outnumbered in midfield and let them completely dominate midfield to come back in the game? Why would you just watch that and let it happen? That's not about our future. That's not our tactic. Why is it though? That's stupid. Like that's just generally. No, that's not our plan.
I'm literally just giving like
I think Lampard's
view. And it's one of those where I'm trying to see both sides of the fence.
I just can't see what he's doing.
There's a tendency of after the match for everyone to just go absolutely mental and tear them to bits, and it's like
it's not even like I'm saying Everton was shit. Jeff, they was good.
Yeah,
Everton was good enough to win that. I wouldn't be frustrated if we got battered. I'd be like, fair enough. But the fact Lampard had the tools to win, and we was good enough to win, but our formation and tactics made us lose. We're losing games that we should be winning, and that's just frustrating because the subs was too late from Lampard. Yeah, the formation didn't change. He shouldn't sit with 5 deep defenders and let them dominate midfield. His Lampard common sense should be like, right, my formations work first half. It's got us a goal. But now I'm going to change my formation to see this game out and win. So I'm going to do a 4 at the back. I'm going to do 5 midfield to not let them dominate midfield and make loads of pressure on them in midfield to try and come back so they don't get what they want. And I'm going to actually win this game.
But you're assuming that
it would happen. Of course it would.
No, the problem is you're assuming that if we switch to a 4 and put 3 in midfield, that suddenly we would defend better and we'd suddenly get control of the game. But based on watching Everton for the last couple of years with our midfield, we would get overrun like we always did. That's the whole point. Is we watched last year our team get overrun over and over and over again because the players that we had weren't good enough, and they're still not. That's why we still need better players to come in. That's why I'm praying to God Garner comes in. There's an assumption that if we just switch to a different system, we would have held out and it would have been sound and everything would have worked out. But that's based on hope more than reality, because we watched our team last year play 4 at the back and get absolutely spanked like week after week and lose games week after week and give up games week after week. So I don't necessarily agree that if we'd have just changed the system, we'd have got the result. I don't necessarily agree that that's a fact. That's just basically a guess based on what you think would have happened.
I just think the system would have helped the players. I just think if you change the system, it would have helped the players. It would have given more numbers.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It might have done. It may have done. But it wouldn't definitely have done. That's the whole point.
Everything's like that, but I just think there was a big percentage that if you put more numbers in midfield, it would have made their job harder. But playing 5 in defence and then playing up 2 in midfield and 3 up top, we had 2 midfielders to stop them in midfield. That's not going to stop them on the ball. If you go and put 2, the difference between 2 centre mids and 5 midfielders is massive. That stops them, because all they do is they get on the ball in midfield, they look up where they want to put it, they put a nice ball in the box, and we can't defend it. And then they do it again. They get in midfield, they've got no pressure because we've got 2 centre mids. They put a ball in the box, we can't defend it. So I'm thinking, right, let's put more numbers in the midfield. Let's not give them time on the ball and let them put the ball in the box. It would stop them. It surely would have stopped them. It is what it is, but I generally think it was good, Jeff. That's why it was so frustrating. I think Gordon was class. I seen someone say Gordon wasn't good. I think Gordon was banging.
Yeah. No, and this is the thing is like I said, I tend to I don't tend to go on Twitter straight after a game, because there tends to be a big reaction and a big emotional response because we've just not got the result. I mean, it's obvious. And it always looks worse, and we always feel the most strongly about things because we've just watched the game and we've got the emotion in us, and it means something. If it didn't mean anything, that if the game didn't mean anything to us, then we wouldn't get as annoyed about stuff, and we wouldn't be arguing and we wouldn't be like raging on Twitter and all the rest of it. But it does mean a lot to us. So that reaction, it just always happens. And I could join in with the pylon and rage and say it was a disgrace. Oh, we should have switched to a 4 at the back, and we should have done this, and oh, the timing of the subs is bad, and all this stuff. And it's like, it's not productive. It doesn't. It's not productive because, like, there's got to be two sides to an argument, and so I'm just trying to provide the other side. I'm not trying
the only reason I get
with you. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, I know you always try and put both ends of the point so you can look at the whole picture, which is fair enough. But I just looked at Gray, and he used a lot of energy first half, and he needs to get back and he needs to help Patterson, so they haven't got numbers on him, and he looks shattered. And I'm thinking to myself, right, he can't get back. He looks shattered, so he's not doing what he can do in that position. And then I've seen at the other end as well with McNeil. He isn't getting back there, staying up there. We needed to defend this. They needed to get back. And like Jeff, I could see it happening. I could see it there. And I'm thinking, Lampard, help them out, help these players out. They are shattered. It's hot. They're burnt out. Lampard, save them. Put the substitution on. The buggered. I can see it. I could see Gray wanted to help him, but he couldn't. He didn't have the energy. So Lampard then needs to see that as well. I can see it, and I'm not even a professional freaking manager that's getting paid. So Lampard should have just said, right, come off. I'll put Vinagre, who's got speed to burn, to help Mikalenko out. They're too late. This is what was happening like before they thingy. He brought him on when they scored. Like, I generally wanted him to do this. He should have done this 20 minutes earlier, Jeff. He should have, about 60th minute, our players was like, they were breathing heavy, shattered, and I feel like action should have been thingy. Oh, Everton, what did you do to me? What a joke. What a joke. That was just, we could have won that so easy. That is just bad managing.
I wonder what he's got to say.
Just probably make an excuse, like absolute bull.
Bugger Lampard, I've had it with him.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of games on his tactical stuff. And I know, don't get onto your manager, but if a player doesn't perform well, we get onto a player.
Yes, football is emotional.
If a manager doesn't play well, let's go for a manager.
But like I said, the only reason I'm trying to offer a different point of view is because we could just have a pylon on the stream, and like it doesn't really help, because
I don't think a striker was a problem today, Jeff. I generally thought we could have won that if we played the right formation and tactics. Some managers win games by changing things, by substitution, by tactic changes. We could have done that. We could have changed it, and Lampard could have just done that by making the right substitutions. I knew as soon as he brought Keane on, we was in trouble. Not even because of Keane, just because you've added another back three that's just going to rebound the ball into each other like they was doing.
I'm just reading some of these comments now.
Read them at the same time. Everton, what do you do to me?
Yeah.
What a joke.
Hey up, Charles. You all right, buddy? Yes, it is an okay point, and it is for us. Like, this is the thing is, maybe we could have got more out of the game, but then you could also say maybe we could have lost easily. And there's an expression that, like, I've heard before, which is a really good one, which is like a Monday morning quarterback, where you can look after the fact and say, he should have done this and he should have done this, and if he'd have done this, we'd have won. But we don't know that. We think that's what we think. Like, if he'd have made these changes, we'd have won the game. But if he'd have made these changes, we could have got overrun and beaten and lost the game. We don't know that for a fact. That's just what we think. It's our opinion, which is fine. And like I said, I've got my opinion on what I think I should have done. But like I said, I'm just trying to provide a different balance, because if everyone else is raging, me raging doesn't really help.
The only thing that frustrates me so much is like I say, first off was good. If I see them have 5 in midfield against our 2 centre midfields, do I do something? Do I react? Yes, I do.
Yeah, but did he react? That's what I say.
Lampard didn't. No, he just did nothing, left it.
Yeah, but did he though?
You score?
Because he must have had a big team talk at half time and tried to reorganize stuff. So maybe he tried to do something. He must have tried to get the players to do what he wanted them to do. And maybe they didn't follow the instructions. Maybe the game got to them. And they, instead of continuing to do what they were supposed to do, they started sitting back and panicking and shooting the ball out and making mistakes. And that's the whole point, is that, like, it isn't necessarily that because the manager's made certain decisions that, you know, that he's done something wrong. It may just be that, like, he's trying to get them to do a certain thing and they've not followed the instructions. And if you're going to change people, then is that going to make a difference to is that going to make a difference to the result? Maybe not. We don't know. That's the whole point, is based on what we saw last season. We were absolutely rubbish in midfield, and going to 2 defenders instead of 3, but that have made us even more vulnerable instead of less vulnerable. Because, like, it's one of those where we conceded an awful lot of goals last year from set pieces and free kicks and things like this. Now, we did concede one in this game.
Read the comments out. Someone said read the comments out.
Yeah. We've made a mistake, but generally we defended set pieces quite well. So it's one of those where
I'm not siding Jack the lad. I don't know what comments is he meaning, because we've gone through them all, but it's just, I agree with Dan. 3 was needed in midfield.
Yeah, and I'm not disagreeing with Dan. I just want to stress that I'm not actually disagreeing with Dan at all. I'm just, like, literally trying to provide the other side of an argument, because, like, if we just rage to each other and say, "Oh, we were shit. It was a disgrace. Lampard needs to go. Everything's rubbish," and we just lose our crap, then, like, I don't know whether that makes the best video. So it's like, I'm just trying to be the other side of the coin. That's all. Even though I'm annoyed and I could see the mistakes, and I think we should have switched to 4 at the back, gone 3 in midfield. So I'm not this is what I'm trying to say is, like, I don't disagree with you. Like, I would have done the same as you. I would have switched to 4 at the back. I would have put the extra man in midfield.
Do you think because we love Lampard, we let him get away with too much?
No. I think
deep down, I think you know that
he's entitled to criticism.
Right.
Yeah, he's entitled to criticism, and like I said, it's one of those where, like, I see stuff that I don't like. I still don't like the 3 at the back system. That's not what I would do. In
any game, Jeff, I think he could change it. Like, I generally think the system worked at the start. He's got to be able to change it throughout the game. You don't need to stick to one system and say that system's going to win me the game. You change it because they changed their system. No. We change ours to match their system. When they needed a goal, they changed theirs. We need to change ours to match theirs. We don't just stick with the same. I honestly feel like Lampard literally set that system up, got his goal, and closed his eyes as a manager and just hoped that we won and hoped that we've seen it out.
That's extremely harsh.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, but that's, to me,
I generally do.
That's really bad, because then that's basically saying that
he come out of that game not doing what he wished he could have done 100%. If he didn't, then that's just wrong, because he could have done something. Then he could have done something. Like, generally, he could have reacted. Lampard could have reacted. He left it, and he just hoped that we kept the 1-0. And you've seen the ball at the post, you've seen this, and you just hoped it stayed 1-0. Where he could have, he had the. I know we say, "Oh, it's down to the players. It's down to the players." A lot of it was down to the players, but a formation would have helped those players. A formation change would have helped those players so much. And it's not like. And Lampard, if he would have changed it 4-5-1, it would have helped so much because they was dominating us in midfield. Like, you needed to change it. We're sitting with 5 at the back. We've got 2 centre backs, and then Gray, Gordon, and McNeil was shattered, so was getting back as and when they choose. So you're not getting the help from them that much, and you're losing a number with them. And then the 2 centre midfielders are having to do so much. I generally think we should have gone 4-5-1. I will stick to that as well.
No,
Some
like
people
I said,
have been agreeing.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not necessarily disagreeing either. I'm just like I said, I'm just trying to sort of provide to both sides of the argument because.
By the way, I'm not actually saying the situation is really bad. I actually think that we've got a lot better hand to play with, and I actually think that the only reason that Brentford battered us was because after we scored, our formation was crap and we didn't sort it out and we let them batter us. Because I feel if you looked at our first half, we had as many chances as them and we looked massively on top first half, and I was happy with the way we was playing.
Yeah.
But then as soon as they scored, we stopped attacking.
Is that the foot? So be it like again doing both sides defense type of thing. Is it the case that the formation was working, but the players started going back because they started getting nervous? So is it the players or is it the formation? Because if the formation was working from the start of the game and gave us possession and gave us attacking threat and all the rest of it, is it the mentality of the players that once they scored, instead of like going on and like trying to win the game, get the second goal or whatever, we started sitting back? So is that psychological
if that's the
of
case,
the players?
If your players are dropping back and you're thinking, Patterson and Mikalenko are ending too far back and our back line's on our own box and they're pumping balls in our box, then Lampard needs to think, right, what do I do now? Because I'm seeing that their game is going downhill. So, right, I'm going to make a substitution. I'm going to put 4 in defence. I'm going to have Mikalenko, Cody, Tarkowski and Patterson as a 4, and then I'm going to bring some subs on to change this because I want that back line high, that back 4 high. I'm going to play Coleman to help Patterson because he's struggling. I'm going to put Vinagre on the left because Gray's struggling to get back, so I'm going to put Vinagre on the left to help Mikalenko, and then I can see that Onana and Iwobi need an extra man to help them. I'm going to put Tom Davison to help them out. I've gone and helped a lot of players all over the pitch then just by doing that. That is a good manager. That is what he needed to do. Lampard could have helped them. And I'm going to leave Anthony Gordon up top because he looks like he's having a good game and he could catch them out if we decide to have possession and get the ball up the top. That was what you do. That won us the game. And it's not, you think. I generally know that would have helped us massively from what I was seeing. That would have helped us because then Mikalenko's getting help from Vinagre. Coleman's helping Patterson, who can get on the ball and get us passing. Davis has come in to help Onana and Iwobi, and everything has got help all over. And Davis can also help your 2 centre backs, Jeff, if you say that they're going to be exposed and struggle for numbers. So that would have worked. And it's just, how many times do you need to see something that Lampard could do to win us the game and him not do it? Because he had the tools on the bench to do that. He had the players on the pitch to do that. He had everything he could have to do that. That was so easy to do. And I can tell you 100%, if Lampard did the 4-5-1 that I've just said, that switch, we would not have struggled and they would not have dominated us that second half like they did. The only reason they dominated us second half and looked like they could have battered us was because our 5 defenders, which we know, when Patterson and Mikalenko don't get forward, it ends up a 5 really deep across we get outnumbered in midfield, and we know how that formation goes when you don't get your wing backs forward, and that's how it went. And I could see that formation struggling because you don't do that formation when you're losing, Jeff. It's a good formation when you want to go and win because it was first half, but when you're losing in that formation, everyone just stays back. You don't get up, and you end up all in your own box. And then they had the ball, not under pressure, doing exactly what they wanted to do. And it was just frustrating. We completely gave them the game for me. And I feel like I'm too right in my head to be wrong. But I might be wrong. Like I say, I'll chill out, but I just generally think we could have been better then. I want Everton to win games like that. We deserve to win. Jeff Gordon.
We're trying to get rid of Gomez. Davies, I think he's in the last year of his contract and he's been injured, so getting rid of him is quite difficult. Plus, we need the bodies at the minute. So, I don't think Davies was particularly bad again. I think he's been all right in what he's done so far this season. Sorry, I'm just like, yeah,
Where's
Holgate got injured.
Jan says is Jan coming up?
I don't know, to be honest, mate. But like, I'm probably not going to stay on for much longer.
No,
because,
I'm about done as well. To be fair, I'm
yeah, I want to watch the match. So, like I said, I'm not disagreeing with you,
Jeff. Jeff, I know you too well, mate. Don't worry about that.
You know, I'm just trying to sort of provide a bit of balance to the sort of argument because, like, to me, the one thing that I would say is changing might have got us a result, but it might have got us a full. It might have got us a complete defeat. We got away with a point today, and
I think we could
if
have
we'd
accepted
switched the system, yeah, but if we'd have switched the system, and conceded early, we could have lost that game and got nothing from it. We don't know for a fact that changing the system would actually have worked because watching us last year when we played 4 at the back, our midfield was rubbish and we got overrun and we lost so many games from leading positions or being ahead or whatever. And, you know, it's one of those situations where I kind of understand what he's trying to do. And it's hard to, like, not stick with what he's trying to say because in my mind, I'm thinking the longer he does this and when he gets the right players in, it will work. And if we keep chopping and changing, it doesn't guarantee results. If the players just did their jobs properly and were a bit mentally stronger and managed to push up better, if whoever it was who that defending for the goal was atrocious. It was truly atrocious. So someone's clearly made a mistake there, and so you can literally go through the game and say, well, if we'd have done this, we could have got the result. But then also, if we'd have done this, we could have conceded more goals. I don't know. And like in the immediate aftermath of watching the game, it's hard to be sort of like have that perspective because like you don't like when you watch the game back a second time, you see stuff that you've missed, if you know what I mean. So you might think, oh, actually, like he did all right, but he made mistakes, or you know, like you could see Lampard screaming at the players to push up or whatever. I don't know. I've not seen. I watched a dodgy stream and I missed half the game because it was in and out all over the place. So, like I say, I don't want to throw Lampard under the bus based on immediate aftermath of just watching the game. So that's why I'm just trying to be sort of fairly reasonable, but I'm still
some people think it's Lampard out. It's not Lampard out. It's Lampard get better.
Yeah.
It's Lampard get better. That's all it is. He's generally a young manager. He needs to. His managing is a performance. He needs to get better. For me, it's not. I'm not like, oh, Lampard out. Generally, he does a lot of good stuff. He's got us playing that formation at the start good, but he needs to change. Don't be stubborn. Change because what he learns and the moves he makes is going to make the manager he's going to be. And if he could just do these little things, Jeff, that we know he should do, he could be a great manager. And because he's got the personality, he's improved players, he's helped players, he's helped Iwobi. He's got something about him, but he's still got his performance needs. If he wants to be a top manager, his performance has got to be 100%. And I just feel generally that I'd love for Lampard to have done a couple of substitutions and us be saying, and it's every game, oh, Lampard did that and that was good. He brought these on, that was good. He did this, that was good. Instead, we're saying Lampard should have done that. He did that too late. He brought such and such on too late. He brought Onana on too late against Aston Villa. With Dele Alli, he brought them on late this game. He didn't react to us looking like we was going to concede. He reacted late, and we did concede. It was too late. So I'd rather be saying it the other way around.
Yeah, And so that's what I say is like,
great analysis, Dan. I just read that. You know what I mean? Dan's spot on about Lampard. Yeah, see, I honestly, truthfully, I freaking study my football big time, and I'm proper into it. And this is why I get so frustrated, because I generally, I know what to do. I know Lampard's much better manager than me, but I see things. We all do, don't we, Jeff? We watch the game, and you can see it. And even you, all these people in the comments, you're fans as well. You know, you football, you watch it every day.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you lot was saying, screaming out for a change, just saying change.
Yeah.
And if Lampard, like, he got sacked from Chelsea. I've seen a Chelsea fan come on earlier on and say this is what he does. He got sacked from Chelsea. He needs to learn from that, and he needs to, like, be the manager we want him to be. And like I say, Lampard, he has got so much about him that's good. I don't want us to turn on him, but I don't want him to make us turn on him. I generally think that he needs to think, don't be stubborn, don't have a certain way. Manage with an open mind to do anything that you need to do. So when he's this formation 3 thingy, stick to that, but also have an open mind to just make us win the game, because that is Lampard's challenge, is to make us win games. And if sometimes he can, on what you said, Jeff, he can do his formation that he wants us to do every game and drill that into him to make us better at it. But sometimes change it and then go back to your formation and drill it into us again. Change it, then go back to it and drill it into us again until we do get really good at that formation. But if you see any struggle, if you see a player like struggling for fitness or anything like that, you've got to be on it as a manager, because your decision as a manager literally can stop a goal. Like, a manager is a very important job. You can win. I remember watching Italy in the World Cup, Jeff. Their manager made substitutions after substitutions at the right time, and I'm thinking, why has he done that? And then all of a sudden the sub comes on and he scores. And I think, what a manager to see that you needed that player on before. Alex Ferguson was good at it.
You're getting big applause there, Dan.
There you go. Alex Ferguson was good at it.
I'm not disagreeing that, like, I would do things differently, the same as you would do things differently.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm just kind of trying to provide.
It's not you wrong, me right.
Both sides of the fence. Yeah. So,
but Alex Ferguson was a good one as well. Wasn't he, Jeff? He knew what to do before you even knew to do it. You've got to watch the game, understand it that much, and show the one thing I will say to that to do it.
No, he didn't. Because he nearly got sacked.
I mean with the super subs, when he brought the super subs on and they completely come on and smash the game.
He didn't know that at the start. That was the whole point.
You've got to have that urge. That was what makes a good manager.
He was so close to being sacked before he ever won a trophy.
I just don't want Lampard to be scared of doing something. I don't want him to be scared. I want him to come in and be himself. And I don't think he's being himself. I think he's bottling it a little bit. I think Lampard was generally is thinking what I'm thinking. But I can say what I can always say what I think. I generally think.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I generally think Lampard has more. He's got balls. I've watched Lampard play, and when he plays, he takes risks. He won games by himself. As a player, he has got bottle, and that's him as a person that's got bottle. I want to see Lampard's personality as a player for us as a manager to have bottle. If we lose a game, I want to go all out and try and win the game. Then I can accept us losing the game because we've done everything that we can do to win the game, and I'm happy with that. But I don't want to see us sit behind the ball and defend and just hope for something because Lampard feels that we need to get a result.
I don't think he wants that either. I don't think that's his plan. Like, I don't for 1 minute think that that's what he wants his team to be doing, because he's out there shouting at the players saying, don't do those things that you're just saying that they're doing. So it's one of those where, like we would do it differently. And you know, to me, like, if I was given the choice, I would just play 4-3-3 because it suits us. Like
this guy,
all the time.
Nigel Atkinson, this guy speaks the dumbest crap ever. Love it. And then some people say you think, like I say, some people will say you're not allowed to say what you think. You have to hide your thoughts and stuff like that. But I support Everton. I just watched them and I wasn't happy with that.
I don't know whether he's on about you or me. I think he might be on about me. I don't know.
You never know, mate. It could be both of us. We're both saying different things, so it's going to be one of us, isn't it? That's for sure.
No, like I said, I agree with you. Is like I would have switched to a flat back 4, 3 in midfield.
We
even
last
4
season,
in midfield, 4-4-1-1.
Yeah.
Put Onana up top, sort of with like
good.
say with
Gordon
good, maybe, and like try and sort of close the game down a bit, and then
Gray was going to
play
score
long
that, Jeff.
and stuff like that. So it's
thought
difficult.
Gray was going to score that, Jeff. I thought when Onana put him in, what a cracking ball that was. I thought Gray was going to score that because it was kind of similar to the chance he had the other game. And I thought
he should have took it straight away. That's the thing is he tried turning on it and it was just a mistake. So.
I honestly feel like we thought like this is what we do a lot as well. We think we're ahead, so we've got an advantage, and we play like we've got an advantage.
That's what we already are doing, isn't it, Joe?
I think we should we already are doing
3-4-3. That's exactly what we're doing already.
I think we play like we've got an advantage. So we take off the brakes and we chill because we think, we've got something, we can protect it. And they're coming at us like they need to do. It was like us against Aston Villa. The moment we went 2-0 down, we started playing, didn't we, Jeff? When you need to play, you step your game up.
That's the big thing, and that's the thing that like I take away from today's game is that we got the goal up. And then we sat back, and I don't necessarily think that's anything to do with formation or tactics. I think that's us going into the same bad habits that we do and have done for quite a long time. Oh, cheers, Barry.
Cheers, Barry, mate. We try to do our best with these streams.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Put our emotions on.
Nice one. Thanks.
Anyone on that's not subscribe, get on.
I think
subscribe.
that we've basically been mentally a weak team for a long time, and we fold, and that's been our biggest problem, and that's our biggest challenge is to become a team that doesn't fold, that handles the pressure.
We didn't know how to protect that 1-0, did we, Jeff? When I used to coach football, I used to say, when we go 1-0 up, it's 0-0. That's what I used to drill into them. Yeah. When we used to score and it was 1-0, I said, it's 0-0. We need to win. And I put that in their heads. I said, it's 0-0. We need to win. So play the same as that you're playing. Go out, keep attacking. It's 0-0. And then they attacked and played like it's 0-0 and you get the goal. And then you made it 2, but really you said you say it's 0 in your head and you carry on when it's 2-0 and you say it's 0-0. And that's how the best teams, like the freaking Red Shite today, they went 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. Bloody hell. That's what we should do. Ghana guy, Ghana guy would have helped today
for him to come back because he would have helped. He would have got us out. A massive difference to their side. So, anyway,
I'm going to shoot and
I want to watch the second half because we've missed the first half now.
Have we? Bloody hell. I've had enough of football after watching Everton that bloody game. I tell you that. I might freaking just cancel it.
But like I said, week. We're not trying to sort of. It's one of those. It's annoying and frustrating, and we could have got more from the game if we'd have.
Everyone feels different. Sometimes I'm like you, Jeff. I'm positive on a game that we've played shit because I've found something to be positive.
So I just try not to hang the manager until like I'm trying to stay patient.
Kevin Kraft.
I'm trying to stay patient and stay positive until the window's shut. And
we seem to get more viewers when we lose because they like our freaking crazy reactions.
That's it. Do you know something? I've seen that from some of the other channels as well. They always talk about it. Is when Everton win comfortably, they don't get any views.
No, that's the thing. People don't want to see you happy. They want to see you sad. Bloody idiots.
So it's one of those where, like,
I love everyone on here though. One thing I will say is, Kelvin Lee. One thing I will say is we're getting a lot of different people on, which is cracking. Every stream we're getting new subscribers. If anyone comes on and you're not subscribed, subscribe. Costs nothing. Just do it. Just get subscribed, please. It helps us out. We've got a little goal just to get our subs up. We get nothing from it. We just got a goal. So Kevin, thanks for that as well. And another thing that I was going to say before we shoot off is we're getting a group of 40, 50 people that are regularly coming on, dropping comments and stuff like that. We're on the channel, but you're on the channel with us. Without you, it wouldn't be as fun, because generally what you say on here, we try and share it and we feel like we're speaking to you. You give us like loads of input. So big up to you in the comments, all of you, Kevin Kraft, Bob, all of your names. You know who you are, and you know I know who you are. Thanks for coming on, and we will share this Everton journey together. Up the fucking toffers. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. Right. Does anyone know how to end the show? Because I don't know how to do the closing credit thing.
Do you not just click end or log out, or just is there a thing there that says, like, what's it say on there? Let's try and do this just to get brownie points from Ryan.
No. I just seen the one that says leave studio.
We can do this, Jeff. We can end the stream.
End broadcast.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go, Jeff.
I found it.
There you go.
Yeah, we're not experts at this, so we're doing our best.
Jeff, Bill and Ben can do it. Don't worry, we've got this. Thanks.
Nice one. Cheers. Thanks for all joining. And have a good weekend.
And everyone else as well. Have a good weekend.
See you next time. Bye.
Did it work?